After 5 years of limited to no developments within the agriculture sector under the coalition government, the PPPC was determined to ensure that the sector received the necessary attention and investments once it had assumed office. From August 2020 to now, the administration has placed high value on the sector, implementing measures within the traditional and non-traditional productive sectors to increase viability, promote a diversified economy, and create more jobs and expand income. In just 1 year, billions have been spent in this critical sector and major developments have been realized. Drainage and irrigation forms one of the most important pillars of the agricultural sector. As such, one of the first actions undertaken by the government was the restructuring of the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority to ensure farmers can benefit from improved services. With outdated and dilapidated structures and pumps being the order of the day, Minister of Agriculture 𝐎𝐍𝐶 Mustafa was keen to make a change.
The most burning issue in the agriculture sector is D&I, drainage and irrigation. Wherever you go, people are complaining about the state of affairs of our D&I system. As a government, the Ministry of Agriculture has responsibility through the NDIA. We will continue to work with the various stakeholders. As a matter of fact, we have done thousands of rods of canals and drain since August of last year, right across the country, all the regions in this country.
Such was the nature of the works undertaken that in 2020, the Drainage Authority exhausted its $1.6 billion budget for capital projects, while over $5 billion was spent for recurrent works. This year, some $12 billion was made available through the 2021 national budget. Pumps were installed at several flood-prone areas. These include Den Amstel, Daventry Castle, Hope, Mora Point, Rose Hall, Princess Street, Sussex Street and Cowan Street. These small but significant interventions by the authority brought immediate relief to scores of residents and farmers across Guyana.
But this place here has been underwater. The neighbors here, their kitchen has been flooded, and they just started to clean this area here now. A couple of days ago, the water started drying.
For the past 3 years, this trench never cleaned. This caused the flooding for 2.5 acres. Now, the government or whoever cleaned the trench and have the place dry out nice. I can't make no complaint. I'm thankful for that.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars we lost in, right? But I'm glad to the government now that can do something to help us.
First, I must compliment the Minister of Agriculture. He has visited Prophet Rising Sun 3 times since they're in office. With this administration, I have seen a lot of changes because there's a broad cross-section. Everybody in Prophet Rising Sun now is getting benefit on what developmental work they put in place. I have never seen the agriculture minister in the former administration in Prophet Rising Sun. Never ever saw him. I don't even know if that man knows where Prophet Rising Sun is.
Coupled with its investments in drainage and irrigation, President Irfaan Ali has also announced that government will spend over $7.8 billion to provide financial relief to farmers who were severely affected by the recent countrywide flooding. President Ali said more than $3.5 billion will be transferred to homestead farmers, kitchen garden farmers, and to households that exclude either of the 2 farms. Homestead farmers will receive $100,000 each, kitchen garden farms will receive $50,000 each, while persons with households excluding kitchen gardens and homestead farms will also get $50,000 each. Farmers who had rice ready to harvest will receive $80,000 per acre. Those with rice sowed and lost in the autumn crop will get $65,000 per acre, and farmers with land completely prepared but not sowed will get $45,000 per acre. Some 60,000 bags of seed paddy would also be given to those farmers. For the livestock industry, assistance would be broken down into 4 categories. Those are subsistence, small, medium and large-scale farmers. Over 2,000 farmers are set to benefit from $600 million in direct cash transfers. Efforts are underway to ensure the country's economy is diversified and food security is assured. Policies and programs have been implemented to promote climate resilient and sustainable production of fruits and vegetables locally. To make this a reality, the government allocated $1.24 billion to the National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute NARI. Through this allocation, NARI has been able to restart its agriculture distribution programs to rural and hinterland communities, which were halted by the previous government. Through these programs, hundreds of packaged seeds, along with seedlings, were distributed to small-scale farmers. Packs of ACOUSHI and bait were distributed to farmers. The National Fogging Program was resuscitated. The Fertilizer Distribution Program was restarted. A $335 million Farm Implement Program was launched for Regions 1, 8 and 9. Along with restarting these critical programs for small and medium-scale farmers, the government launched its groundbreaking Intermediate Savanna Development Initiatives, a special project aimed at developing the corn and soybean industries in Ghana, which accounts for over 25% or $10 billion of the country's food import bill. $500 million was invested, and works have started to provide the necessary infrastructure, which could accelerate private investment in corn and soybean production and supporting businesses. Already, 6 local companies have partnered to undertake this massive project that could see Ghana on the path to becoming self-sufficient in corn and soybean over the next few years. Additionally, $70 million has been allocated to support the Hope Coconut Estate Limited, while the government will invest $832 million in agricultural infrastructure, including agro-processing and packaging facilities. A significant aspect of the PPPC's manifesto has been the reopening of sugar estates that were closed on the coalition government. It had also committed to rehiring some of the retrenched workers and offering viable opportunities to the others. In the fulfillment of these promises, $10.5 billion has been invested in the Ghana Sugar Corporation over the last year. These funds are to offset critical works as government advances the sector's resuscitation.
𝐎𝐍𝐄 is on a change plan. We're re-engineering the way we're thinking in 𝐎�𝐄. The whole vision of 𝐎�𝐄 right now is to move up the value chain as fast as we can, within the constraints of finances. But in addition to that, in addition to moving up the value chain, we're also opening 3 estates, so it's going up and it's going broader.
As part of the restructuring plans, 𝐎�𝐄 has reintroduced mechanical harvesting at the Blairmont Sugar Estate to boost its operations. Moreover, the corporation was able to pay almost $900 million to its trade creditors. Over the past 9 months, about $175 million was paid to the Ghana Agricultural and General Workers Union (GAWU) as it honored debts owed to the credit unions in the industry. The PPPC government maintains that rice is the government's business and it will work to see the industry flourish. Under the former government, farmers were forced to pay increased land and drainage and irrigation fees, putting a heavy burden on their pockets. The Dr. Mohamed Irfan-Ali-led administration has reversed these charges and restored them to the original rates. The MMA ADA rates were decreased from $15,000 per acre to $3,500 per acre. This single measure placed an average of $1.3 billion immediately back into the hands of farmers in Region 5.
This is farming is private business. Be so thankful that, machinery start do the work. Things which they could not have done in 5 years. I see this administration did it in 1 day in this village.
That is excellent that the VAT come off back. The fee and so on normally was $2,500, and last year they put in on $1,000 more upon it for $3,500.
The man said that is what they're going to do, and this is what they're doing. They're assisting us. The cost on every single thing is down. Agriculture equipment is down. Parts is down. Land rental for most of these people in the MMA scheme is down. So people will benefit. And that's basically what people need. More money in the pocket, more spending power for the people on the road. They will buy. A man gonna go and buy 2 tractors now. He ain't got to study VAT.
The government is also spearheading the construction of 6 drying floors at strategic rice-producing locations to provide much-needed support to farmers in regions 2, 3, 5 and 6, and a soil laboratory will be established to facilitate efficient and economic production of paddy. Farmers are also benefiting from the removal of VAT on machinery, equipment, fertilizers and pesticides, thereby reducing the high production cost. Also in just 1 year, Ghana secured 2 new rice markets in Hungary and Latvia in Europe, while an additional 24,000 tons of rice is being supplied to Brazil.
The livestock sector needs to take its position. We have land, we have water, we have the climate. We have the human resource, and so we are set to develop the agriculture and the livestock sector as a whole.
An estimated 3,000 to 5,000 small farmers and broiler producers benefited over the past year. From the removal of VAT on key inputs in the poultry industry, the government has also zero-rated the industry. The Ghana Livestock Development Authority has also received its additional certification from the Ghana National Bureau of Standards, bringing it one step closer to offering quality testing and results for the livestock industry.
We have to think commercialization. We cannot think only subsistent agriculture. The days for just feeding our people alone has passed. Now we have to think about export. We have to think about commercialization, industrialization.
Important to the agriculture sector too is the quality of fertilizers being imported. The government has constructed and commissioned a $60.4 million fertilizer testing laboratory.
Today's activity is an identification of the board's commitment to support our developing agriculture sector in Guyana.
The certified facility, which is located at the Pesticides and Toxic Chemicals Control Board, is the first to be established locally and the second within the Caribbean. The approaches taken by this PPPC government have ensured that the agriculture sector recovers from the aftermath of 5 years of neglect and mismanagement. The policies to spur rapid growth and long-term developments are also in place as Ghana looks to become a bigger agricultural force in the region.